Hello Nugent, and welcome to our first ever Team Talk for Parents. Today I just want to share a story with you about a leader who was appointed by God to govern and lead an oppressed and afflicted people. In a legendary rescue attempt, this leader becomes the strategic influence in the hand of God that saved an entire nation, probably from death and genocide, basically. He helped them rediscover their distinctiveness as a people, and he helped them rebuild their faith. After a long time, many years of waiting, the day finally approached where the people would reclaim their homeland and settle their families in their native country. However, there were rumors afoot that their leader was about to step down. The people were shook. He had become a patriarch of their race, a hero to their children. So, very tentatively, they gathered to hear his farewell speech, and he began by recounting their blessings and their journey and reminding them of the covenants that they had made with their God. Then, very subtly, he began to shift his message. They could hear a concern in his voice that they hadn't anticipated. He seemed anxious maybe about how their newfound blessings might affect them. More specifically, he seemed intent on addressing how they would transfer their faith to their children and their children's children and to future generations. He wanted to ensure that they didn't make any of the same mistakes that many of their parents had made. Then, challenging the hearts of every family, he said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates." And so this is a text from Deuteronomy 6, verse 4 to 9, and it is known as the Shema. It is one of the most well-known passages of the Old Testament, and one of the most well-used when referring to the importance of the family unit. And so over the next little while, for one Team Talk a month, we're going to begin unpacking the Shema and the relevance of it in our context today as parents. But for the purposes of today, there's one thing I want to take out of this and one message I want to push home. And that is that as a parent, you are the primary discipler of your kids. Of course, there are others. There are friends, family, your church community, etc. But the discipling of your kids is primarily your role and your privilege. Over the past year or so, where Kids Church, Route 67, Riot, even our student life groups are not operating as they were before, many of us have been shaken because we don't know where our children will be discipled into Christ's likeness. I just want to be super clear that God's expectation in the Bible, in His Word, is that you are their primary disciples. You are to lead them in this primarily. And I want us to really consider this statement. You are the primary discipler of your kids. Mull over it. Chat about it with your spouse. If this statement overwhelms you or scares you, excellent. That's exactly what it should do. We are meant to see the weightiness of the responsibility, and we're also meant to see our complete and utter insufficiency and inability to do this. This is intentional on God's part. See, God wants us to humbly come to Him, who will equip us and give us strength and wisdom to disciple our kids. Aware of our weakness and confident in His strength is the best place we can be as parents. Until next time, God bless.